Welcome, everybody, to the Canadian Bro Show. My name is Paul Bale. I'm the founder and host of the Canadian Bro Show. Love to have you back. If it's your first time, thanks for joining us. The Canadian Bro Show is a growing Canadian podcast, and this is the second iteration. And my good friend to my left and your right is Mr. Trent Rowley. Trent, how you doing? The co-host of the most. What's shaking, brother?
Doing good, man. So,
yeah, we were talking before we started the show. We're recording this. I'm in Kelowna and Trent's in St. Paul, Alberta, and this is episode 50, the second season, week 20 of all basketball from the Hoopjunkies, Pauly and Rowley, and it's 2025-26 on the ticker below. You can see our current show and our new show that's coming soon, and a couple of previous shows on, if you're interested, at the Canadian Bro Show on YouTube. But in the meantime, thanks for joining us, and we're approaching the playoffs in the NBA and the fantasy playoffs in Yahoo Fantasy Basketball.
We are.
And we are indeed. And Trent and I both have two teams that we play together in one league, two different leagues, and I have 8 teams in 6 different leagues. And Trent, how are you doing this current week? We're the last week before it really starts to, see what's happening. The top 6 teams get a playoff position. The top 2 teams get a bye. How are you doing on both your teams?
Lots of injuries and game time decisions.
Kelly
Oubre, who had a great game last night, has decided that he's injured for 2 weeks. I think Philadelphia is going into tank mode.
Are you serious?
They're in the play-in. Yeah, he's out for 2 weeks.
He just had I watched the game. He played unbelievable.
I know. I picked him up. I had him on both teams. Oh. He just went crazy.
That's okay. I'm ready.
So he's out for 2 weeks. So, yeah, another one of those.
Well, he's out for our fantasy playoffs, by the way. Yahoo Fantasy Playoffs. Yeah. We have less than 2 weeks. That's it.
That team that's in first, last week kind of showed how strong a team it is. The fact that you were up 9-0. And it ended up 5-4. Basically a category away from being a split from that. So that team kind of has done its own thing. I see that Russell Westbrook was out last night. So
I squeaked by on Trent 5-4, by the way, on the Sunday, the last day, literally. A few percentage points.
Yeah, the other team that I'm third, just kind of trying to plug away and stay in that spot. And
yeah, that's a good spot.
So if we
actually in that league, Trent, sorry to interject, we're going to play probably against each other if things don't move.
Actually, I looked at the championship bracket, and we're on the opposite sides of that one too.
Oh, I haven't checked those out. Did they come out today?
No, they're just there. You can check them out right at the season starts. It just gives you the first 6 teams, and it shows you how it's laid out.
No, I get it. I get it. I just haven't really.
In both right now, it shows that we wouldn't play each other unless we made the finals.
Well, that's where we want to be, because that way we're guaranteed first and second, no matter what comes.
It'd be more fun to crush you. It'd be more fun to crush you in the finals than in the playoffs.
No, I know that's exactly what you're looking for, but it's highly unlikely because I'm a force to be reckoned with. I'm a steamroller.
We played 4 times this year, and I'm 3-1, and you barely scraped by at 5-4.
And this is what happens when people blow their load a little early and start boasting before the season's finished. And we'll see what happens. I don't need to boast because my record says at 24 years, I'm in the top 1 to 10% of fantasy basketball, depending on what category you're in. It doesn't really matter. This is fun. It's a hobby. I enjoy doing this. But more importantly, I enjoy letting people know how to play Yahoo NBA Fantasy 9 category. How do you do it? What do you do? And this is what we do. So we're just gonna a quick recap on episode 50, week 20, second season.
David Robinson.
Huh?
David Robinson, number 50.
Yeah, what a great center and great human being. And we're gonna talk about WNBA to start off with. We're going to pass on NCAA top 20 right now, and we're going to be doing an episode when the fantasy season shuts down the next week and a half, 2 weeks, and we're going to do a monster.
Next Wednesday, we're going to be doing a show that goes to start before the start of the tournament on Thursday. So
yeah, man. And what's the tournament called, Trent?
Pardon me?
tournament. What's it called? March
March
Madness.
Wow.
So you got to tell people, because some people will never, they don't even know, and they just think, oh my God, these guys are great. I want to watch this show, but I don't speak English, but I love basketball. So you got to let people, you got to just lead people to the promised land. You know what I'm saying, bro?
It's a true story. Yeah.
That's all I'm about. True stories. I don't talk about the ones that aren't, because there's, anyways. So let's get right into the WNBA. Now, Trent and I have been following it like other fantasy YouTube channels. They don't really like to focus on negativity, profound madness, and absolutely stupid, just stupefying behavior. And so, Trent, how would you like to start off and just be, hit it hard, bro? People need to hear it. If you don't, I will, because it's ridiculous.
As you brought up, so they're pretty far apart. They had this big 12-hour meeting.
Okay, before you go, can I give you a key takeaway really quick leading into this? And that's what I was trying to get to, because I want to bounce this shit off you really quick. So, WNBA, in quotes, the CEO or the general manager or... a relative of a very wealthy sports and entertainment family. Who knows? Right. Her name is Kathy Engelbert. And she told reporters outside the Midtown Manhattan Hotel where negotiations were taking place. And the key takeaways were the NBA and Players Union did not reach a new collective bargaining agreement by March 10th. Obviously, that's already passed. After just an unbelievably stressful 12-hour negotiating situation. It's honestly, this is a complete joke, but it's very serious. It's just the way it's presented and how it unfolds to people that know something about basketball. We find this to be really problematic, and there needs to be some serious changes in the approach of the WNBA. And the next is the commissioner, who I already mentioned, and I won't mention again, but I will try to mention the union leadership. And I'd like to believe that they truly have leadership qualities and are doing their best. I'm waiting for what Trent has to say before I say anything. I can't mention their names because half of them I can't even enunciate. So that's kind of embarrassing, but and no, I'm reading, but I mean seriously.
I know, believe me.
I know you've apologized already, but the league's expansion draft, which is positive, the 2026 draft, and hopefully the May 8th start of the season opener are tied into negotiation. And apparently there's lodging. Apparently there's. Obviously, they want to make money close to what the men are making. That's not going to happen for probably a decade, maybe less.
The league doesn't generate the salary of a star player in the NBA. Give me a break already.
So let's go into it, Trent. The reason why they haven't done it, they say, is because of two things. One is they want 70% net of revenue, which is just eight percentage points less than the men of the NBA. And that's been around since the 40s, if not 30s. So that's completely delusional. However, they want to use that as a bargaining chip, which is completely out of touch with reality, which is why they couldn't, after 12 hours of spending millions of dollars in a hotel in Midtown Manhattan, knowing that nothing is going to happen, because they don't want anything to happen. And the owners, I don't think, do. And I think the players are completely out of touch with reality, because they want, at the end of the day, they're talking 70%, but they want 28% gross in their pockets, which is not even close to being reality. Am I correct on that?
It's just tiring. It's just greed, and again, we've talked about this before, and other people have too. Guys I love, like Charles Barkley, have talked about it. You are in the golden age of this happening. Totally. It's only in the second year of our girl Caitlin Clark coming into the league and bringing all these eyes to the league. Yeah. You guys are trying to take, instead of understanding the growth that's happening and the girls that are behind her and are coming,
Yeah.
You think you should try to get it all now. And this is, again, what you just talked about, the union leadership. The union leadership, and again, I'll get canceled for this, but it won't because it is our own channel, is
Well, just don't piss anyone off at YouTube and swear or whatever.
a bunch of old hags who have been in the league for 7 to plus to even longer years. And as I've said before, is
Many of them have been in the basketball game in America for 25 years plus.
they're trying to get the money that the young players or these younger players
They want the same things the young players do. They want a retirement fund. They want insurance.
And that's fine. I have no problem with that stuff. You're helping build the league. You're part of the league. You built it. But the idea that salaries going up by 220 with revenue sharing, going from an average player salary would jump from 80 or 60 some thousand to almost 500,000 with revenue sharing is, and you're saying no to that is just ludicrous. It's greed.
It's delusional, bro.
They've misread this situation so badly. They think that they have, as George Costanza would say on Seinfeld, the women think they have hand right now, like they have the power. You don't have the power. You've had 2 seasons that you still haven't made money, even though the golden goose has come to the league for you.
And by the way, for those that don't know, this league has lost money for 28 years.
Yeah. So, and as the league said about the revenue sharing part would be that if the owners did it this way, the owners would lose. And now again, I have no problem with billionaires losing money. There shouldn't be a such thing as a billionaire, but that's for a different show.
Billionaires don't lose money; they make money. And if they lose money, it's a tax write-off.
The idea of the amounting, the 15%, this gross revenue thing, like the league's calling it unrealistic, claiming that it would result in hundreds of millions of dollars of losses. Well, this league's already losing millions of dollars. Like, where have these women been? It is so delusional.
28 years of losing millions.
It's just unbearable. It is
thousands of millions.
It's just so obvious what's happening and what's
so why is it happening, bro? Why? This is ridiculous.
They want to get paid. Pay us what we owe us.
Okay, so how is that such an outrageous demand? Like, I mean, they're talking about. Did you not say the last episode that they came with a counter and said that, and a lot of the players are like, oh, that's not too bad.
Well, yeah, the players are like, hey, how about you release all the info and transcripts to our agents so we can see what's being talked about? Maybe we need to actually have a player meeting. I mean,
that doesn't happen.
They're giving all the info. I think
that doesn't happen. It's not.
The union is led by people that have been in the league for a decade plus, a couple less maybe, but a decade plus, and they want to get paid.
No, they want money and power. The same thing as everybody else.
To say pay us what pay, you know what? It's like me going to a place of work after a decade, and them hanging on to me, even though we're losing money every year, but hanging on to me because I'm good at what I do, but we still lose money. And then that first year that we make money or we start to see promise, I go, well, pay me what you owe me.
Yeah.
Well, you don't owe me shit because we didn't make shit. Like, it's just so nonsensical that it's maddening. It is just over the top.
And it's like Groundhog Day, Trent. Every year it's the same thing. It's like, and you wake up and you're like, oh my God, I'm stuck in this madness.
I'm just going to tell you, get it together. I've seen the highlights from the FIBA Americas today. In Puerto Rico. My girl Caitlin Clark played 19 minutes and had 17 points and 12 assists. She's the best, and she was the best player on the floor.
In 17 minutes.
In 19 minutes.
Not whatever. At least they brought her on the team this year.
Whatever. 19 minutes, she had 17 and 12.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like Trey Young, man.
She's the best player.
Yeah. So, in the world.
So you're going to sacrifice us getting to watch because you want to be greedy. That's really what this boils down to. It's greed.
Well, it's
like this idea that they think
look. Would it be Trent? Would it be different if it was the person that was the greediest is the one that holds their rights on the team?
Well, the problem is too is that these players get all upset because they know why this is happening. It's happening because of one player. Again, I can harp on that forever. People can say, "Oh, you just have." Yeah, I love Caitlin Clark. I love basketball, and I was watching WNBA games before Caitlin Clark, but I wasn't watching them. I wasn't watching women's college basketball like I did when she was there.
Not until she got creeping towards Pistol Pete Marriage's his record, man.
The idea of pay us what you owe us
Yeah.
Um,
Owe us?
it's just nonsense.
Nobody owes anybody them. Nothing. They have to earn it.
That's what they wore for T-shirts at the All-Star game.
I saw it. It's so ridiculous. But let's
That's
stay in the moment. Like,
stupid.
so
Well,
is
our
this?
girl played today, so good for her. I was happy to see her playing today
Yeah.
and doing her thing.
So we've got two expansion teams. We've got a start of the league that starts within a month, and everything's happening, but they're not ready.
Draft. Haven't had a draft yet. It's like, are we going to have a draft? We haven't had.
They haven't even celebrated the two new franchises, the Toronto Temple and the Portland Fire.
You haven't even had an expansion
or
draft.
Heat, whatever.
Yeah. You haven't even had an expansion draft yet.
I just, it's honest to God, in the 21st century, this is what's embarrassing about Canada sometimes. And Canada has one franchise or two.
North America in general.
I know, but I mean, America, oh, come on. Okay. I don't want to sit here and slag our southern neighbors, but what's going on down there is an absolute abomination. But let's just talk about hoops and try to be positive.
Like renting, it'd be like you owning your house, like you do in Kelowna, and America is like somebody downstairs is running a meth lab. That's what's happening right now in the world.
Or in British Columbia, as an example, I don't know if you know this, the federal government signed off on the one of the larger, the Musqueam Band, over the entirety, virtual entirety of the Lower Mainland of Vancouver, and there's 1,500 of them.
Yeah.
And now they're saying that their supersedes fee simple. I mean, this is a whole different
that's
topic.
as ridiculous. That's as ridiculous as this stupid NBA thing. Let's be honest. It's just,
Well, it's all ridiculous. My point is, why is it so ridiculous, and why do we put up with this bullshit? Pardon my French. It is absolutely atrocious what's going on in the world. It seems like everybody's just fraying at the edges, and we're not sticking to the things that have made us in the Western Hemisphere one of the 2-3 strongest countries in the world that have allies everybody else until just the last year, obviously, with what's going on in that abomination. And I'm not even going to say any more because I want to finish this show and I want to continue doing my YouTube channel in happiness in Canada. So to finish off, do you think they're going to find something in the 11th hour and push this through because there's just too much money not to be made?
I think there's the key. What you just said right there is that
That's why I asked it.
It's like you can say to people in general how you look at life. When I was 25, I wasn't thinking of what am I planning for life? What am I going to have when I'm 40? I wasn't thinking that way. I wasn't thinking ahead. As I got older, I started to think that way. Hey, I want to be able to retire. I want to have this. That's exactly the perfect analogy how you said it about the WNBA. They are not looking forward. They've all of a sudden got a taste of success and some popularity, and it's went right to their head. And it's like, let's get all of it now instead of looking at the whole picture of growing, the possibility of growing this game and making it even bigger. This is going to be, if they go on strike, it is not going to, they're going to lose fandom. They're going to lose fanship.
All of the people that vote to go strike, they'll lose their jobs instantly.
They're going to lose viewership. I can tell you that right now.
Well, I mean, at this point, I don't think anybody cares except the people that really want to watch. I just want to watch. I don't care about the bullshit. I don't care about the business. I think everybody needs to be treated fair. But this is what's going on in the WNBA is kind of reminds me of what happened in the ABA before all the franchises had to collapse and only 4 of them came over in the amalgamation with the NBA that actually had the financial resources to make that move. And the ABA was some of the best basketball I've ever seen in my life in the late 60s and 70s.
The problem with the ABA was, and in the WNBA, it's actually a bit better. The problem for the ABA back then was that they had, 11 teams, 8 teams?
Depending on the year, yeah, pretty much. Anywhere from 8 to 12.
I can't remember which year the Flint Tropics folded, but
they folded in 74.
The problem with the ABA was that they had like 3 or 4 teams that were doing okay, like kind of thing, and the rest were just terrible, like losing money hand over fist. The WNBA, like I said, there's teams now because of a certain person moving games from a 3,000 person stadium to
selling out at 18,000 at Rupp Arena or whatever.
They're just, again, it's just It's
The revenue that Caitlin Clark is bringing, nobody wants to talk about this. We brought it up. Is they're saying 72% of the new income that the WNBA's made in 2 seasons, or even prior to the first season, because they
for 3/4 of the last year and they still did that. Like that tells you
dude,
the draw that she has. It's
right,
ridiculous. These people are out of their minds.
completely out of touch with reality, and also, and let's face it, in this world, race still plays, unfortunately, an ugly, reeling head. And what's going on in the WNBA is obviously a problem. And to a lesser extent in the NBA, because I think we're a little more softened to what's been going on for 6, 7, 8 decades. And the nuances of ownership have changed. And the game has, I think the basketball game in the NBA is almost de-evolved. But let's finish up with the WNBA. Do you think they're going to start?
I'm done with the WNBA. That was it. That's what I got.
All right, cool. So we're going to go into the fantasy basketball. Yahoo Fantasy Basketball is approaching. It's actually already here. Trent, both your teams, you're in 1st and 1, so you've got a bye next week.
Third,
First and third. So you don't have a bye in the second team. You got to play the 4th team, which I believe was me, in the first round. If it ends the way it does.
You're in 5th in that league.
Sorry?
You're in 5th in that league.
Yeah, not by the end of this week. And it doesn't really matter. Is when it comes to the playoffs, that's when you have to perform. But I got to say, in Yahoo Fantasy Basketball that Trent and I are playing in, yesterday, the 20th week in the season, which only goes 22 weeks, really, in Yahoo, I had my best week in 8 teams. Every single team dominated. And it was surprising. But I looked at, Trent, the number of waiver wire picks on my 8 teams. I've almost got 400 waiver wire picks on 8 teams this season thus far.
Yeah,
Think about that.
I'm at like 130 on the 2 teams.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. But the reason why I brought that up is not to boast, because most people would understand that, is I can't rely on trades. They usually suck. And there's so many injuries and so many players that are soft in the NBA. I need to be Johnny on the spot. I need to pay attention every morning. And Trent's up at 6:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't start breathing until 7:45, 8, essentially.
Some of us still live in the real world and have jobs. So
No, I've been working since I was 7 years old, so don't even start, bro.
7. There we go.
I did. I had my first paper route at 7 years old because my mom cut my allowance of $1 a week Canadian, and I had no Slurpees, and I was starting to Jones. I was shaking. I needed my sugar fix. And so they had the Paper Shack a block down from the alley at Belfour Rentals and Kits. And my neighbor Daryl was the Paper Shack lead. And he goes, "Oh, I even have a route that opened up. It's right on it's the thing." I said, "Okay, how much?" He goes, "Like $30 or something." I'm like, "What? And you want me at 4:30 in the Paper Shack? What is that? I got a train at Kitsilano at 6:30. He goes, "Well, you better finish the route."
Not the Paul Bale fairy tales. Let's get back to basketball.
It's true, man, and I did it. I got. Everyone knows. Even in our episodes we talked about. Johnny knows. Keith Bifford knows. Daryl Klein knows. Anyways, I did that for one season. I was like, no thanks. And then I started to deliver pharmaceutical drugs from this Chinese dude that's a taco place on Cornwall and Cyprus. And I used to drive my bike and deliver drugs to elderly people, and they'd give me a quarter for a tip. And that was my next job. I've been working since I was 7 years old, bro, and I'm 61. I've been working 90% of my life.
Yeah, you were hard like bull with all that the pharmaceutical thing.
No, I was hard by bull by having Slurpees. Slurpees was my juice. That was my vibe. That was my vice. Slurpees, man.
Oh, yeah.
And Hawkins Cheesies and 20 mini chocolate donuts from 7-Eleven.
It's like this whole show is about fantasy, your fantasy life and fantasy basketball.
That was reality, bro. I have a memory like most people don't. That's all 100% happens because this thing is ticking at a higher level than it's ever ticked.
It's ticking, all right.
Yeah. Anyways, no, I appreciate your candor. as slighting as it can be. So we're going to jump into the, unless you want to share something profound, which you haven't so far, but maybe that'll happen before the end of the show. Really, at the end of the day, we're still in the fantasy push. And the only reason why I had an amazing week is because all of my players that have been sitting injured for the last couple of months miraculously started to play.
Yeah.
And I got rid of guys that weren't performing and filled them in and then hit the waiver wire hard so that I can dominate the week and maintain an edge. Because if you can maintain an edge going into this week, you're pretty much set. So in my 8 teams, I'm in first in 3, second in 2, 2 in 3, and 1 in 4. I was in 5. I moved up to 4. 4, I might still have a chance to stay in, but I'm 7 of the 8 teams I'm going to be in the playoffs. And 5 of those, 5 of those are going to be first week bye. So I've accomplished everything I set out with 400 plus waiver wires and absolutely psychotic behavior as a hoop junkie, hardcore hoop junkie. I'm up every morning. I'm making sure that I've got my teams. If there's a holiday game on Monday or a Wednesday or a Sunday and it starts at 10 or even 9 sometimes, these matinees that the NBA likes to call them, that can completely screw. I've lost championships because of...
I get a text going, hey, dude, when did it say there was a game at 10 a.m.? Well, it's been on the schedule since the start of the year. But, I mean, hey, surprise.
I'm not looking at the entire schedule in its entirety at the start of the year so I can memorize it for 187 days or whatever.
Yeah, get a text.
It's like, come on, man. Like,
hell, man, why wouldn't they tell me there's a game at 10?
dude, it's no. Sometimes it's
you know what I do? I do a lot. I end up doing because I mean, when you finish watching the late game here where I live, it's 10:30
Mountain Time, so you got an extra hour going east.
It's almost bedtime, so I'll look at my team just to see how I made out, and then I'll sometimes already change the lineup, or I'll just at least look at the schedule for the next day, like see it the next day because it'll show it. So it's easy to do that before going to sleep. And then, I mean, again, I'm not a fan of the matinee games myself either, but I do seem to be able to keep track of them. I think that's only happened to me once this year, and I think I missed out on having OG in a game for the Knicks because they played at like 9 in the morning on a Wednesday.
Well, that's what helps. That's what helps getting up at 6 in the morning as opposed to 8:30.
Yeah. So the game's already in its third quarter when Paul wakes up. What the heck is going on?
No,
here?
but I mean, I already know. I'm just worried. I'm just worried about the injuries that happened that night.
What happened to Scooby-Doo? What's this basketball doing on so early on a Saturday?
Man.
I love it.
I don't know where that came from. Anyways, for those that are still battling, that's the other 4 teams are going to be out, maybe 5 within the first week. 6 will be gone, and they can start dumping players. So while you're still in the game, if you get a bye, keep an eye on the waiver wire because you still get your players for that week. And I happen, in 2 of my teams, I happen to have the first waiver wire position. So I am keeping a keen eye on teams that suck all year that drafted pretty good, but they just couldn't put it together to look at who they're going to drop and see if I can scoop a guy because nobody can take it from me going into the last week and a half.
I did that today, actually. I was looking at some teams going, okay, if this guy's going to start sitting, who are they going to play? Who's going to play from that spot? So
yeah, well, you have to, Trent. This is what we do, bro.
You know, I've been dominating you, so I don't want to give you any hints or any tips because.
No, and then he woke up sweaty, wet in Mexico, and just a half portion of chaps on a beach covered in sand. So that's not reality.
Tristan Da Silva today on both teams.
Oh my God, your favorite player! That last time I brought him up, you just shredded him.
I can't stand him, but I mean, nobody's going to play. I mean, you got to start putting some of these guys in. They actually
and he played really well.
Yeah, he's doing okay tonight, I think so.
Well, his last night. I'm talking about last night's game.
Well, they're playing tonight too, so.
Yeah, well, that's why he's in. As you finish, we're going to go into the waiver wire connected.
3 and 4 tonight. Good job, Tristan.
What's that?
He has they beat Cleveland tonight, and
Wow.
he had 3 threes and 23 points, 4 rebounds, and 3 assists. So and a block. So thank you, Tristan Da Silva, for helping out.
Well, this leads into the Waiver Wire Connected, which is a segment that we've been doing for 2 years now, and Waiver Wire Connected is really about Trent and I just going ballistic on the waiver wire because you just have to be. It's the only thing you can use. And getting to this point of the week 20 in our second season of the NBA prior to the playoffs, if you look at the waiver wire and you can find somebody. It depends on the league. I have 8 teams, so I have a little bit more leniency. But I've got to spend time going through it every morning to see because I just picked up Russell Westbrook and he had a triple-double again.
Yeah,
and what's that?
Now he's sitting tonight. He's out tonight.
I know. That's fine. It doesn't matter. I'm using him he's got another 3 games this week.
I've had him for like 3 weeks. He's been awesome.
Oh, he's been incredible. And he's 37, and at the end of the day, if you get triple doubles and in 9 categories, you need every single category. I punt turnovers because my teams are turnover prone, and that's just the reality. But week 20, schedule week 20 playoff push for rankings. We're down to the final month. It's not just the month; it's really 2 weeks, if not less. Depending on which category and which league you're in, they're all run a little bit different. There's ESPN, there's so many. There's Roto, there's FanDuel, there's Yahoo. It just goes on and on. There's NBA. I like Yahoo because that's what I've been playing for 24 years. And the waiver wire, it is so limited right now, so I'm just going to throw some numbers and names out. But these guys here, as Trent just mentioned, Tristan Da Silva, for a team that's been struggling for the most part of this year with injuries and no backcourt depth and no center depth.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, Black's out again and back to his injury pro ways, but he had a great run 3/4 of the way through the year.
Yeah.
It was impressive, very impressive, and he has a lot of upside, but Jabari, as soon as they start talking about like Jabari Walker, no disrespect. If you're in the NBA, you're there for a reason. People hired you and paid you money and signed you a contract. But in terms of fantasy, if you can't give me more than 10, 12, 15 points in any given night, I can't pick you up. I need someone that gets 28 minutes and can perform in multi-categories. And Jabari, I wouldn't even bring. Tristan Da Silva, I flirted with back when Panchero was injured again, as it seems to be quite frequent the last couple of years. He's played really well recently. And the kid came in and he won the World Championship and a gold medal with Germany, with Schroeder again. And so you can't knock the kid, but he's just not quite there yet. My biggest problem in fantasy basketball, Trent, is I always take players too early until their growth and maturity. This is a kid I think could be a really good role player in the NBA, and he had a great game. I wouldn't pick him up. Isaiah Jackson, a guy that floundered on Indiana's bench for a decade since they drafted him. And they drafted him as an 18-year-old. He's undersized, 7-footer. He can block shots. And when you play him, like a few other players in the NBA, can perform. And he's been double-doubling it. And he's with the Clips. And it was a good pickup. Adam Bona. People are like, who?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, okay, he doesn't have any front teeth, but that, he's making money, so that can happen. It's probably in order.
Double every game.
I'm telling you, he's active, and he has he's got a 7'5" wingspan at 6'9", and he blocks shots, and he's an energy guy. And if you need a center, and you know who's injured in front of him, if not everybody else, take a hard look at him. He could save you. Jalen Williams, come on, man. I honestly, I wouldn't even add this, but what he did in 2 of the 3 games that he played, because Chet was down with back spasms and Hardostan was down with, he found out that he wasn't actually black, and so that's been an issue. He had to take some personal leave. I'm being facetious. Apparently, Hardostan is a brother.
I thought he hurt his vagina.
What's that?
I thought maybe he hurt his vagina, but yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of that could be said for a lot of players in the NBA these days. That's for sure. Julian Reese, they call him Juju, or at least his sister does, who I can't stand. I wouldn't even mention her name. Certainly, he's the best basketball player in his family. And in his first game, came out and he had 19 points, 20 rebounds, and it was just crazy. He's 6'11". He's got great wingspan. He's hungry.
Then he got 4 and 6 the next game. So.
I know. But look at Washington. But honestly, next season I'm going to take a look at him in the late rounds if he's got the center position, because they brought in the French kid Sarr, and it was like a dual thing. Sarr was going on, and Sarr really had a great season, and thank God, because his season before was terrible. Yeah, I think he has a lot of upside. But this Reese kid, I like him. I don't like his sister. Isaiah Stewart. I mean, I don't even really need to say him. He's a goon. But Duran is just an all-star, and he's just going crazy. And he actually fills a really good role on the best defensive team in the East and the best offensive team. And he's a beast, and you got your back with a guy like that, because he has psychopathic tendencies. Walter Clayton Jr., I think, is going to be a starting point guard in the NBA. There's something about that dude. What he did in the run with the NCAAs last year was extraordinary. Excuse me.
There's a ton of potential for sure.
Oh, my God, man. He is just so smooth. Yeah. I love him. And so, not that he's really going to make a difference, because on the team that he's in, it just doesn't make sense. But it depends on your situation. You might be in a different league where it's going on for another 2-3 weeks. Take a hard look. He is a true point guard. And Robert Williams, Trent. My God, the third.
Hard. I've looked at him like 3 or 4 times, and I just go, nope, not doing it.
I've looked at him 300 times over the years, and it's just...
I have been very, very close. I'll click on his name so I can see.
He is always injured, bro.
And I scroll right past the add button and click somewhere else because...
So, do you know what one of his injuries was? I think it was when he was with Boston. He was going for an offensive rebound, and his dreads poked him in his eye, and he couldn't see out of one of his eyes because his dreads, the predator dreads, poked his eye, and he sat out for 4 days.
You'd be better prepared to be on Doctor Who than be in the NBA.
Dude, wash your dreads. Wash your dreads. If your eye's infected from your dreads, you're not washing them. They're probably not real anyways. I don't know. I've never had a dread.
They're not real.
Pelle Larsson, I love Sweden. I love the Scandinavians. I'm Icelandic and Irish and English, so we're all up there in the rocks in the north. And he's a great role player, but Yemi Yaquez Jr., I'll take him any day. And this kid, another Canadian, nobody talks about. Trent, I wanted to bring in one Canadian, man. His name is Will Riley, and he was out of Illinois and drafted last year, I think, 26th in the first round. And he's got good size, about 6'4", 6'5", and he's been balling with Washington. Don't figure. Just look at that team, right? But he's Canadian. I just wanted to say that he's been really balling in the last sort of 8-9 games. He's averaging 15, 6, 4, 2. I mean, he's nice. He's really nice. I like him. The other guy I don't like is Scoot Henderson. And I pick him up, and he's one of these players I pick up in fantasy, and he just duds it out. And then the game I drop him, he goes off for a career. And then has a second game and then duds out and disappears for... I can't stand it. But I do like his talent. I just think they really overpicked in that position to get him. The other guy I'll talk about I love Gigi Jackson, because he doesn't care that he's 6'9", 195. And he's active and violent, and you give him 20, 25 minutes, and he can give you 30 minutes on the other team, and that team is tanking, and they suck, and they have no bigs. Yeah. So, anyone you want to bring up, Trent?
You want to talk about guys who are maddening, I would tell you.
Please. I love that.
One guy that drives me nuts is Tori Eason. From the Rockets.
Yeah.
So when I found out that Oubre was hurt after his big game.
Yeah, I'm going to have to address that after the show.
got to put him on my injury report. I go, okay, I got to pick somebody up for the rest of the week. So I looked at a couple teams and I said, you know what, it'd be nice to have, especially in the one team, it'd be nice to have a guy who has games on Monday.
Right.
And I ended up picking up Derek Jones Jr. from the Clippers.
Yeah, that's a good pickup, I
He's got
think.
3 games left this week, plus
Yeah.
he plays. So I'm like, okay.
And they're hurt. They have no one at that position, and Kawhi's not playing.
It's a crapshoot with him. That's fine. I was thinking about picking up Torrey Eason instead of him. But I was just like, you know what? I already had an experience with him, and I was like, I don't want to pick him up. When I look at his stats right now against Denver in the game in the second quarter, and he's only got 4 points, but he's got 8 rebounds. It's like, seriously, dude, like try to get consistent. The consistency factor in the NBA it's so bad right now that way.
I have to give some blame to the referees and their rotations. Come on, we've talked about this so much.
Yeah. Well, did you? So we can move on. Did you enjoy the Jaylen Brown ejection last night?
Oh, that was just atrocious.
Oh my God!
That was.
Said, when I told you I was watching that game, you go, oh yeah, I'm going to switch to that game. I'm going to start watching it live. Well, as we were talking, he was being thrown out, so I was like just totally mum, not saying.
And the ref was right there. It was obvious.
Yeah, I can't wait.
And the ref called it. And then he didn't tee him up the first time, and the ref went, "Oh, okay, whatever." Yeah. And then when he did it again, the ref goes, "Okay, fuck you," and tees you up. And let's move on. That's just.
Kudos to the Celtics for the game they played without him.
Unbelievable.
They're going to be a tough out, man. They've kind of come on here.
I know. We're going to get into that. Before we get in, Trent, before we get into East and Western to finish it up, I have to make 2 shout-outs. And I'll make the most important shout-out, although the second one's really important too, and I just I cannot understand why the NBA has blackballed the great American white hope. It's shocking. But even more shocking, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who I think is the best point guard in the world right now.
The player's record, or tied it.
And he tied Wilt Chamberlain's record of 126 double-scoring games. So now, actually, I did a deep dive in this. That's incorrect, once again. Wilt did it numerous times throughout his career, but whatever. I'm not going to bother. I have this big book of 2,000 pages, and I went back, and even in Wikipedia I couldn't find it, but in my book I found it. And when Wilt averaged 50 points a game in the NBA,
that was the year, yep.
And everybody criticized him. Wilt was, he was a very intelligent guy, and he was a proud person, and he had enormous ego apparently. 20,000 different people apparently have shared that experience. And he came out and said, that's just ridiculous. And he went out and averaged, 26 points a game, 21 or 22 rebounds, 8 blocks, and 11 and a half assists the entire season. So people are saying, I feel sometimes the NBA is so tired of saying these records that they're trying to subdue them.
Dude, it's not that, Paul. What they do now in every sport is they go, oh, this person has the most 25 and 5 games in the first 30 games of their career.
Right.
Who cares? I don't care. And if you look at the Wilt record with Shai, like tying that,
the
thing about the big difference there is, it's great and all. He's a Canadian. I love it that he's doing it.
Yeah.
But when they showed the side by side last night of their stats, and in the same amount of games,
it's not even close.
Wilt Chamberlain has over 2,000 more points in that stretch of those games.
Wilt Chamberlain has over 100 records that will never probably ever be beaten.
Yeah, it's crazy.
So if you could just please the NBA and anybody else, including our show, at least understand where Wilt Chamberlain was and the history that he did. Don't undermine his history to make somebody else bigger.
And the other problem is that there's some stats that weren't even being kept when Bill Russell.
That was blocks. That was blocks. Wilt used to say Wilt would goaltend 15 blocks a game.
Yeah, I don't think they did at first. Were doing a very good job of tracking rebounds either at one point. So.
No, of course not. Wilt averaged in his career 27 to 28 rebounds a game.
Don't get me wrong.
It's there.
Moses is the man when it comes to rebounding, but The numbers are crazy what those other guys
Listen, I love Moses, but anyways, I just want to give a shout out to SGA for getting close to Wilt Chamberlain's impossible records of breeding. And then the other guy I want to talk to is somebody I cannot understand why this kid is not playing in the NBA. And what the NBA did on not bringing him back after winning 3 NBA slam dunk championships. And then the clown show that came out, it was the most embarrassing thing I've ever seen in basketball. Seriously, I was like, what? And can you imagine being all the guys that were the 6 guys that were doing the voting? How embarrassing it is to sit there and watch that fucking clown show?
And then you see the YouTube videos of the 3 dunks that Matt McClung was going to do, and it was better than
Dude, I said that in our episode. Okay, listen to this. Mac, I call him, I gave a new nickname because I couldn't think of anything else. Mac Attack McClung is playing for the Windy City, Chicago G League team, and he's just been killing it. He's leading the league in scoring. He went out and had 54 points, 9 threes, 10 assists, 7 rebounds, a couple of steals, and he did it like it was like nothing. And if the NBA wouldn't have wimped out and pussied out, which I think is a complete bullshit move, pardon my French,
I agree.
And he would have won a 4th championship. And you know what? You bring him back the next year into the 5th. Or you do what Trent and I are saying is, forget about the NBA players. They can't dunk anywhere. Trent and I both could dunk at not much, but just, dunks. But you watch these guys, a 7-footer try to take off from the foul line, and the foul line's 15-9, and he's at 12-9. Is embarrassing. And you're a 7-foot guy with a wingspan, and they don't find him back. I'm like, oh my God.
The thing was that he wasn't even close to the foul line. Like that dunk.
That's what I just said. He was 2 feet off the foul line.
Yeah, the dunk that Jordan Hayes did in the dunk contest, I could do that dunk in warm-up in high school.
I know. That's what I just said about you. Not so much about me. I wasn't a dunker per se, but you had long arms and big hands. And you can get up, and you're an athlete.
Go to YouTube and watch all these guys doing what they're doing on YouTube, and bring them in, and just change it. If these star players aren't going to take part, then just change it, because it's a joke. It really is.
Your suggestion before we get into Eastern and West was to look at YouTube and look at all these crazy dunkers that are traveling the world throwing these just sick dunks.
Yeah.
And maybe just replace them, because if you said, hey, we're looking for NBA players that want to beat these 4 dunkers that travel the world. They're the best dunkers in the world. Not a single NBA player, maybe 1 or 2, just to get publicity, will actually even say that. It won't happen because they know they can't beat it. The only guy that compete with that is Mac McClung. By the way, he is a white man, for those that don't know, and he's 6'2" on a good day, apparently. He has a 48-inch vertical.
Yeah.
And he has a nasty disposition, and he belongs in the NBA. And if I had a team in the NBA, he would be my 3rd point guard, and I'd lock him up.
Right? Just like he was doing before. He's not an NBA player. He's proven that. He's gotten a chance to play in lots of places and got some minutes, and he's just not a really feasible NBA player.
I disagree.
You can disagree.
Well, I just did.
And that's fine. We can agree to disagree.
He's an NBA player. What he's doing in the G League is ridiculous.
He's a good G League player, all-star in the G League.
Yeah, and you look at some of the scrubs they bring in the G League. Mac is, my God.
Hey, he's the all-time scorer. He broke Allen Iverson's state record for scoring.
Yeah. Anyways, that's my 2 bits. I don't care what anybody else thinks. He belongs in the NBA. And if I had billions of dollars and I owned an NBA team, I would sign him. And I'd lock him up as my 3rd guard on the bench for 3-4 years.
In the NBA on a regular basis. Although Bronny's in the league, so Matt McClung.
Come on, man. He's the worst player in the NBA. Seriously.
Who, Bronny?
Is there a worse player than Bronny in the NBA?
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows?
Come on, man. I played against guys in 2nd-tier leagues in Europe, in EuroLeague, that were better than Bronny.
I don't think I think that was a big publicity thing for the NBA.
Yeah, of course it is. Let's not go there. Let's go into the Eastern and West. What do you got, bro?
Well, first of all, we probably should talk about what happened last night with the ridiculous 83 points that Bale scored.
Oh, you think it was a setup? It was a scam? Didn't happen?
I'm not going to say it was a setup, but it definitely was not in the spirit of of basketball. I mean, they were
No.
fouling to stop the clock so he could score more. I
Yeah.
mean, going to the line 40, it was a bit of a joke, honestly. He kind of made a mockery of it.
It was
Uh,
38 times he went to the line.
I'll be honest with you. I don't ever want to hear anything about heat culture again after watching that. That was a
Yeah.
joke.
Well, that was the first time I've ever seen heat culture fall apart, and I'm not really sure why they did it.
Yeah.
But they went with it, and I think it's
Up in the
because
moment.
they had 3 players that were starters that weren't playing or injured, like Kella Ware was out and whatever.
Yeah.
So they're going to think, oh, we're undermanned, and we're fighting for a playoff spot in the 6th or whatever in the East. And
I mean, hey, it's a great accomplishment. You scored 83 points, but lost
dude, second highest game
it
in the
was
history of the NBA.
it made a bit of a joke of the. I actually had a couple people text me, and my brother-in-law texted me, and he just said, "This league has hit rock bottom by what I just watched the last."
So many people are saying that, It's really disturbing.
Too bad because it is an accomplishment, but I kind of agree. I'm in the
Yeah.
middle, but I do kind of agree with it of what they were doing with the fouling to stop the clock so he could get another shot and all that. Again, I don't ever want to hear about heat culture again when you made a mockery of basketball last night.
You can't take away decades of what they've done for one crazy game. That's
Yeah.
obviously bullshit.
Yeah, it was not good. So it
No.
wasn't a good look for
No.
those. So,
I didn't watch it. I
and
couldn't.
I can't wait to cheer against the Heat in the playoffs, and hopefully they're not in. They get beat.
Look,
back.
he beat Booker and he beat Kobe. Great for him. He's a great player.
Yeah.
I still think that if they want to get far in the playoffs, they need to play Khalil Ware and Bam together as 30 minutes a game in order for them to get far.
In the East, I mean, realistically, the way the Raptors tonight, they've fallen out of the top 6 now because they lost to New Orleans tonight.
Yeah.
They're really struggling right now. I'm not sure what's going on.
Brandon Ingram's been really struggling in the last 3 games.
Well, he played. I mean, Scotty Barnes been playing good. I mean,
Yeah, but I'm talking about Brandon. He doesn't shoot threes, and
yeah, he played well tonight. He had a good game tonight.
oh, good.
And he had a decent game against Houston. It's just there's something missing. I don't know what it is watching the games in the last couple of games. I honestly think, I mean, and he's a Canadian. Love the guy. He's Canadian, but I wish they would have been able to figure out a way to find another big and get rid of RJ Barrett. I think he's a bit of a cancer. He seems like a shitty attitude sometimes out there.
He's always injured. He barely plays 60 games a year, bro.
I watch all the Raptor games, and
Yeah.
I'm basically tired of RJ Barrett.
Yeah, me too. I gave up on him as well. I agree with you. And the other thing that I noticed is Podol. He had illness. I mean, like, are you kidding me? You missed 3/4 of the year. You're a healthy multimillionaire person. You come from a very healthy and you miss a game at this. This is where everybody needs. This last 15 games of the year is where everybody needs to be ready to make a push. That is not making a push. And, I'm a big fan of Ingram. I thought he's had a great year, but the last 3-4 games.
He's healthy, and he's been healthier than he's ever been this year.
Never been as healthy.
Yeah, it's been great.
Never been as healthy.
He said that. He loves he loves Toronto. Like he
loves the coach, too. Everybody loves Toronto. Toronto's a great city, man.
So, I mean, again, we're still talking about. I mean, Detroit's still the first. I mean, I'm again the team I'm most impressed with in the East is Boston for not having Jason Tatum for that long.
Honestly, I would not want to meet them in the first round.
They're just playing. They play such a great
salute.
Jaylen Brown. I mean, now that I've watched a few more Celtic games, I'm trying to make a point. That guy has just blossomed into just a beautiful basketball player. Like that guy,
he's really prolific. Really,
he took it at Wemby a couple times last night and hit jumpers in his face, like little step using his body. And I was just like, this is all all net. Like he is such a nice player. I mean,
I agree. I watched the game and it was enjoyable. And watching what Wemby's doing is honestly, they might win the NBA championship this year.
I get there. Yeah, you're talking about my Spurs. Yeah.
No, now you're doing the Spur jump. Oh my God, man!
I was on the wagon a long time ago.
No, dude, I
much before you were even thinking.
Not even close, bro. You do this every single time. You take the credit for my insight and foresight.
You didn't even know
foresight, insight. It was before anybody else was talking about it. I brought it up.
You didn't even know where San Antonio was on the map until I brought it up. Okay?
That is not true. Watch our first episode of the Western Conference.
staying in the East, your Knicks are
Oh
playing. I
my
mean, I don't
God,
know.
man!
I don't think the Knicks can
I
win.
think the Bulls are getting to your brains.
Um, uh, who else here? The Cavs kind of hit a little dip here with Harden. They
Yeah,
lost.
because Allen's injured, and it's like the two 7-footers. Try to put them together and win.
I know. And then Orlando's actually playing a little bit better basketball of late, all of a sudden. But I don't think they're winning anything. I think that realistically, it's the top four teams in the East. It's Detroit, Boston, New York, and Cleveland, and then it's the rest. That's how I look at the East right now. I mean, Toronto's fallen now into the play-in thing at number 7. I mean, they're only a half a game behind
I
Miami.
think Cleveland's better than Toronto.
Oh no, that's what I'm saying. So Cleveland right now is in that 4. Like those top
Yeah,
4.
they're fourth, but I mean, you're looking at the fifth and sixth that can creep in, right? We
Well,
still got
fifth is
15 games left.
Orlando. Orlando and Miami are a half a game ahead of Toronto.
I honestly, I go Miami over Orlando.
Yeah, well, I'd like to see Toronto sneak into the 6 and not have to play in the play-in
Yeah,
game.
that'd be nice. As a Canadian, we have to root for Canadians, but they got to get their shit together really quick.
I was a Scotty Barnes fan in college at Florida State. I was really happy when they drafted him. I always thought he had the potential to be a really good player, and he's proven people right that he was.
That's why you jumped on him. What do you get him in the 4th round?
Yeah, 4th or 5th, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
No, you wouldn't have got him in the 5th. It would be 4th.
But hopefully Toronto can get out of that. I think with the Oubre injury now, Maxi's out for a few weeks. I think Philadelphia's decided, I don't care if we're in the play-in, let's just tank. That's what it feels like right now with them.
Yeah.
Um, the team I'm rooting for the most in the East, honestly, just to make sure that they keep in the playoffs, and it looks like they're going to be in the play-in game, but I'm rooting for them to be in the actual win in the play-in, so they're one of the 8 seeds, is Charlotte. I want to see Charlotte in the actual playoff.
Yeah, me too.
Right.
They're exciting to watch. If they're healthy, they're exciting.
Your boy Knipple is just on fire. It's just you gotta love the Hornets. They're a fun team to watch.
Yeah, they are.
No question. And Brandon Miller is coming in. Brandon Miller and both. It's funny. Both Brandon Miller and Jabari Smith Jr. from Houston are 2 young players that are really started to play like their drafts where they were drafted at.
And that's why I have them on multiple teams. I totally agree with you. That was how I thought that they could be, for sure.
And then, we don't need to talk about the other 4 in the East. I don't think it looks like Milwaukee's missed the playoffs. Honestly, even the play.
Well, they might get to play in.
Well, they're 5 games behind. They're 5 games behind Charlotte in 10th for that.
Yeah, well, that's only because Charlotte's. Yeah. Well, we'll see.
It's going to be tough. So,
honestly, I think there's going to be some really good basketball the last 15 games.
I mean, and the
Pacers, of the season.
Yeah, and the Pacers are doing their best. I think they've lost 10 in a row, so they're doing their best to get that first pick from there. Washington, that was an embarrassment last night, giving up 83, but just the way you did it, it was you conspired, said, hey, let's be a part of it. You're like the Washington Generals right now. Okay, that was terrible.
The defense was absolutely atrocious. Guys were going on a defensive rebound the entire court. I saw it 4 or 5 times. Not a single person even attempted to foul them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what? I've never seen that before, bro. Salute.
And in the West, obviously the teams are really most of them are the same. I think that Phoenix has dropped out of that 6th spot with Denver there. But Denver, Minnesota has kind of hit a little blip. They were playing really well. They've hit a little blip here. They're playing tonight against the Clippers. I'm going to watch that game when we're done here. Plus, I'm going to watch the Rockets and Nuggets are playing right now as well.
I'm definitely going to watch that.
Yeah. And then, Houston seems to be playing quite a bit better. I think. Well,
they got Jabari Jr. really is. No one talks about him, but he's really had a great year. I think there's a lot of potential there, and they need him desperately as that 7-footer on the. And he loves Durant, and Durant doesn't love him, so he's always on edge.
Yeah, he's got a nice mid-range game too. He doesn't just set
and he's unselfish and.
Right now you got the Lakers, the Nuggets, and Minnesota. Houston, Lakers, Minnesota, and Denver are basically those 4 spots can still swap basically.
Yeah.
I don't think Phoenix they got themselves up there. I just don't think they can maintain it. They're going to be in the play-in for sure, but I don't think they can maintain trying to get into that top 6. I think that top 6 is settled in the West. I don't think Phoenix sneaks in over Denver or Minnesota. I just would be very surprised if they did. And
Well, Denver and Minnesota will be in the top
In
six.
the West, the only difference in the West between the East is like those 6 teams, the top 6 in the East. I said, hey, there's 4 that are legit. Well, the top 6 in the West, you could basically pick one of those 6, except for the Lakers. I don't think the Lakers can win with the roster they have. I just don't. But you never know. So let's hope not. That'd be great. So, but I'm like I said a long time ago. I was when Wemby went down. I thought the San Antonio was in trouble. And when they played like they did, I was like, I'm on the San Antonio train. The way they played when he was hurt, and they maintained. They're only 2.5 games behind OKC.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
crazy, eh?
I have to give. I think Shea's the MVP. I have to give the one thing about OKC. Not only do they have depth, but they've done this without their basically, their second best player in Jalen Williams. And
Well, and SGA for a period of time, and they hadn't had to deal with that before.
I'm just saying, without Williams, what SGA is doing without him
Yeah.
is, I think he's probably the MVP this year again.
Well, we'll see. There's 15 games left. I think there's room. I think if Denver can get back Peyton and Aaron Gordon had an unbelievable night the other. No one, Josh Lloyd. A lot of guys are like, there's no way the guy can come back. And in the short period of time the games are, and he had just the type of game I needed to get through this week.
I wanted to pick him up too, and he was gone. So
I scooped him.
But San Antonio, I mean, honestly, if San Antonio could sneak in the first in the West, I could legitimately tell you that Wemby could be the MVP. And it's the same for Jaylen Brown. If Boston actually could catch Detroit, they're only 3.5 games back. If that was to happen, I could see Jaylen Brown being the MVP.
And no one talks about Tatum and what he's done, 292 days.
He's
And
done really
well. Oh my God. And the continuity and the fact that what the coach has done, and he's got Nima as a starting guy and Vooch coming up. There's just something really sort of special what's going on with Boston in the East. I think they're a team you really, but I'm a Knicks fan, so I'm going Knicks. Right. But if the Knicks and Boston have to meet, if you look at their matchups through the season, Boston's kind of owned them a little bit.
Yeah. And that's the big issue for, treating for the Raptors is the Raptors are like 0-17 against all the top teams in the league.
Which is really weird, man.
So I mean, again, next week we'll talk. I mean, I don't really see the Clippers are going to be in the play-in. Golden State's going to be in the play-in, and Portland, which is great. I like Portland. Good young team again. They're a fun team to watch. A couple Canadians.
Shaden Sharp's still injured, though. I don't know what's going on. He's just taking.
I think Splitter did a great job of stepping in to coach.
Yeah.
And not getting busted for gambling, so that's good. Allegedly. And then, again, I mean, Sacramento, I mean, Utah, you know what? People can say what they want about Utah. They might be tanking because they're sitting the players, but the players they have play hard.
Dude, Filikowski, honestly, he's...
Everybody.
No, but you look at two guys that I've been preaching for a long time, and on two teams that are tanking, and one is the French kid who's playing out of his mind, having a great season with Sacramento, Renault. And then Filikowski, I honestly, first couple of games, I was like, holy shit, bro, you are just fucking, you're just not warmed up. Like what happened? And then the last 4 games, just killing it.
Yeah.
And active and playing D and putting up the numbers. That's the reason why I had an unbelievable week in all 8 of my teams. Right? Of all the guys I'm plugging and playing.
Yeah, he had a great week, yeah.
Oh, my God. He's not the only one, but all of my guys performed. It's incredible. We'll see how that lasts.
Yeah, so, it's, like you said, you're getting down to nitty-gritty. The thing about fantasy right now, it actually probably is the hardest part of the season in fantasy because of some of these guys just deciding, well, we're in a losing team and I don't want to play anymore, so I'm not going to play anymore. So now you got to go try to find somebody. Now you got to kind of pay attention that, hey, who's the guy that's going to get these minutes?
The worst, I've already gone through the worst. I got my teams ready and I'm trying to finish this week. And this week, if I finish, I'm in the playoffs in 6 or 7 of my 8 teams, so I don't really care. And I got buys on maybe 4 or 5.
Right.
So I've done my job, and thank God I was very fortunate this week 20. My goodness.
Agreed. Well, that's all I got.
Excellent. Well, that was really good. We're going to wrap it up. Trent, once again, it's a little later for us. Trent's really busy in Alberta. The whole oil situation is going crazy, amongst other things. So I hope you and your family are doing well, and I know you are. Thanks for a great show. We're going to wrap everything up. And before we go, Trent and I always like to say one thing. Trent, what do you like to say to everybody before we go?
Be kind. It's free.
Yeah, man. Be kind. It's free. We really appreciate everybody. You like this content, you like this show, you know the deal. Subscribe, help us out. That'd be great. We're trying to get to 500 subs. We're getting there. And in the meantime, Trent, take care. Say hi to your lovely and your new dog. He looked like he was passed out and exhausted on your deck. I thought that was a beautiful photo. That was awesome. And in the meantime, I'm in Kelowna and Trent's in St. Paul. And everybody, be kind out there. And we will see you next week. Take care. Thanks very much, Trent. And we'll talk to you sooner than later.
Peace, everybody.
Peace.